And it's a great pleasure to have Nicole Stuckenburger here to give us the gallery talk today, but also I have to say to have taken this project off my shoulders because I have absolutely no expertise in Inuit culture, and if I had to have done this, it would never have been the amazing project that it's become. So I have to thank you for that, and it's been a great pleasure to have her here for the past 2 years, working with the collection and working with the curators. To be able to have a colleague here who really brings such a new perspective and has been really a great honor. Now, I'm going to have to go to my cheat sheet here to tell you more about Nicole. Nicole was brought here through the, as Stephenson Postdoctoral Fellow through the Dickey Center for International Understanding, working in conjunction with Arctic Studies because this exhibition marks Dartmouth's commitment to the International Polar Year of 2007 and 2008, a very, very important event that is going to be featured here on campus, not only in the context of this exhibition, but also in an upcoming conference. Now, Thin Ice was actually a project that followed suit of another curatorial project that Nicole was working on called Die Dinge des Lebens, Kunst und Kultur der Inuit, which means the things of life, art and culture of the Inuit. And this was an exhibition at the Pilatus House in Oberammergau, Germany, which I have a very, very deep love for because it's my second home. Before her residency here at Dartmouth, Dr. Stuckenburger was PhD researcher and lecturer at Leiden University and the Utrecht University in the Netherlands, where she also completed her doctorate. Her dissertation work focused on Inuit communities on Baffin Island, Canada, and is published under the title Community at Play, Social and Religious Dynamics in the Modern Community, Modern Inuit Community of
Gigitajok.
Thank you. She has published various essays on Arctic cultures, including her essay Nanook at Home, Flaherty, Us, and the Inuit, and treatises on ethnographic theory and fieldwork practices. She's presented papers in Germany, the Netherlands, here in the US, and received grants from the Netherlands, France, Germany, and the US. It's been a great pleasure for all of us here at the Hood Museum of Art to have her, and please welcome her to today's gallery talk. Thanks.
Yeah, it was always a great pleasure and still is to work with the Hood Museum of Art, because that allows a lot of freedom and deep exploration and academic work, as well as working with these beautiful objects. So I'm grateful for that. I'd like to welcome you all to this gallery talk. I'm standing here at this chair because I might sit down at a certain point. As lots of other people, I got a cold. And yeah, that speaks for itself. Today, the talk is about objects. Not surprisingly, probably, but you will note that talking about objects, we actually need to talk about life, about ways of life. Britt Kramvik, a Norwegian anthropologist, wrote about the Sami from Norway. Nature to them is not the other to human society. The same can actually be said for Inuit people. Nature is not the other to human society. But what then is nature to them? And we can as well ask, what is nature to us? Well, these questions are of great relevance, not only in general, but now particularly because of climate change. And during the last gallery talk last week, Ross Virginia talked extensively about climate change. Climate change is challenging the world as we know it. Nature around us, the environment, it will challenge infrastructure, our ways of life, and also, I think, our own view of our place on the earth and our place within the world. Scientists, activists, policymakers, all kinds of other people share round tables, discussion tables with indigenous groups or Inuit people, for example, from the Arctic. Inuit live in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and Chukotka. And they meet to find the best ways to their particular interest to manage the impacts of climate change. Now, seals some are experienced seals. If they see anything or hear anything, they're gone. They go dive right into their breathing hole and will not show up for a long time. But seals are also really curious. They're very intelligent animals, and if they're less experienced, they might just wonder who's coming there, what kind of odd engine noise that is, or, The hunter observes closely what type of seal it is. What type of personality does this seal have? He sees that this seal is kind of a nervous type. So what he's doing, he's crouching, bending down, getting there. And as soon as he sees the seal gets nervous, he looks up, kind of looks what's going on in his environment. He uses this and he's scratching. Like this, on the ice. Okay, what is it, magic? Maybe. What seals are doing when they are on the ice, they move around a little bit, and find their position. And doing that, they use their claws. So the hunter is actually imitating a seal. He moves like a seal, he's scratching, and the seal he wants to hunt gets the impression, oh, apparently everything is fine because, my body here is relaxed outside, so it will relax as well. And in this way, the hunter can get very close to the seal and either shoot it, or this hunter has a spear, he can spear it. Then, if you spear it, seals will always go for their breathing hole, even if they are half dead already. They will try to dive in. So you run there, and you make sure that you catch it before it disappears, so to bring it home. Then you cut it open, you take the fur off, you take the guts out, you prepare it into nice little packages of meat, and you wrap it up in the skin again, pack it on the sled. You can go home, and your family can survive longer, and they have good food to eat and also to share. It's much better to go close to it. So as a visitor, that's also what most people do. You go close to it, you get into contact with the object. But also, why do you want to be close to it? If you look at it.
See how it's made?
Yeah. And if you look at how it's made with a lot of attention to detail. Each claw is really tied to the wooden frame. The wooden handle is done very nicely. It has a nice curve, so it really has the shape of a claw. There's no single piece of rope sticking out. This harpoon here and this whole area where you are sitting, which is titled cosmology. You could also say religion, but cosmology is broader a little bit. It's how people perceive of the world and their space within it. And if you look at, for example, this mask here, and later on, where you're sitting, Dave, those seal drags, you find two objects which talk about transition. One is, and that's the mask, the transition between the physical world and the world of the spirit. What you can see probably also is, talking about objects in a more abstract sense, is that in an exhibition, objects placed into a space create new relationships between each other. Those objects might never have met. Not only do they come from different areas, they also use a different, mask is not used out on the land, nor is the ice scratcher probably used in a ceremony. It could be. And that's another interesting feature of Inuit objects. Inuit objects can be all kinds of things. A kayak miniature, for example, can be a toy, it can be a trade good, it can be an amulet, it can be a magic tool, it can be a graveyard object. It can be used to be enlarged in the world of spirits when the dead person moves on, especially in traditional beliefs. And it can be the same object. So as all reality in the world is connecting our physical existence to our spiritual existence or spirit existence, so is that the case with Inuit objects in general. That's one reason why Inuit, even nowadays, often do not pick up something they find out on the land when they don't know who the owner is. This object might not be used in many areas anymore when people use rifles. It's an object very specifically designed to be used with spears. What you still have is, though, if you want to shoot a seal, you cannot shoot it when it's laying flat. You have to attract its attention. You have to make it look up. Thanks a lot for your questions. And